All right, good afternoon. Welcome back here to Trader Minute. Great to have you aboard. I just want to do a quick position rundown, and then I'll take a look at Anadarko here. But midday lull here in the market. The overall market not doing too much. The S&P is up about 6.5 points. The Russell, the small caps, they've weakened a little bit. Here they're underperforming today. Now, if you pull up the IWM, it's underperforming the small and the large cap, or it's underperforming the large caps here today, but it's been outperforming the last several days, so it doesn't necessarily mean that much. The Dow is doing very well, and things are just continuing overall market-wise in their upward trend. Boeing. Okay, Boeing up about a buck 22 here. It's hard to say this action's that significant. Is it nice that it's trading above 138? Yes. Is it still in the upper Bollinger, pushing back in the upper Bollinger? Yes. Still above the 7. The trend's still bullish. Yes, yes, yes. Check them all. It has everything we want. It may be a slow plod, like back here in September, but things are still very bullish here for Boeing. It is at a little bit of what could be a short-term resistance area for it up here around 138. I mean, 138 is where it hit on the news of a share buyback, where it hit after the Fed, and now where it's hitting now. The good thing is it's hitting it on higher or on higher lows. Okay, but to see Boeing, dance a little below 138, a little below above wouldn't be a big deal. Would be really nice as if tomorrow we could get a kind of a launch away from 138 where we gap up to something like 138.60 and just kind of go and charge up to 140 and kind of leave 138 in the dust here. So Boeing still in a very nice position. Chesapeake, okay, Chesapeake down about 25 cents. It's off its highs, it's off its lows here on an hourly standpoint. Okay, well, we talked about as it came down to 27.20. Yeah, it did look a little ugly with some of the indicators, but it's really kind of in a consolidation. And as long as it holds 27, all the bullish notes that we see from the daily chart with the vibe and the trend rider signals are still in play. Volumes a little bit heavier than they were on Tuesday, but still not very strong relative to normal there for Chesapeake. Nucor here up a little bit, up about 0.5%. A little bit better than the market overall, but again, light volume, but just continuing the trend that it started back here, and really nothing to adjust, nothing to go with there. Was asked to get on email about Boeing and taking some Boeing contracts off and getting into Tesoro, if that's something we're still looking to do, and absolutely it is. It is something that we are still looking to do. Tesoro's just kind of been consolidating here for a little bit. Uh, while I like Tesoro's chart, okay, and Tesoro's chart is very bullish, it's not as bullish as Boeing's. Um, Tesoro, you could argue, has a little more upside potential, but this price action here on Boeing is from a technical standpoint more bullish than what we see at Tesoro. Not saying that the Tesoro is not bullish, but I would argue that this is a much more predictable upward moving chart than what Tesoro is, as Tesoro is still in a little bit of consolidation. To see it come back to 55 is still a potential there, where Boeing seems to be clearing significant hurdles and moving on higher there. Okay. Now, I want to talk about Anadarko. Anadarko, the morning it gapped down, we talked about Anadarko. When it gapped down below 75. And we talked about the analyst that came out and defended Anadarko and saying basically in the lawsuit that Anadarko the pricing on the stock is pricing worst case scenario as far as maximum penalty. Okay. And below 75 is pricing in max penalty for Anadarko. And so what do we say? Okay, below 75, people buy in, buy in, buy in. Now it's bounced, now it's moved. Now it's a matter of, okay, where's that penalty actually going to be? So, there's a little bit of hesitance here. Can this come back down to 75? Sure. Can it kind of dip a little bit here into the 76 area and go back up? Sure. For me, what I'd love to see is some sort of bleeding, continued bleeding in Anadarko below 77, then some sort of little bullish engulfing back above 77, and use that to trade it up into the 80, 82 level. That would be ideal. That would be best case scenario. Is that necessarily going to happen? No, but that's kind of what I'd be looking for there. If I were in Anadarko right now on a short-term option, I'd be very nervous. If I was in Anadarko from a stock standpoint or long-term standpoint, I wouldn't. Okay, that's just kind of my thought there in regards to Anadarko. Okay. All righty. Yeah, some chatter there on chat on Twitter. Twitter price action has been phenomenal here today. Opened up about 250, went negative, turned back positive, was up about $5, has come off those highs. Look at the volumes on Twitter today. Okay, volume significantly elevated today relative to what Twitter volumes have been historically, and even the volumes in the options are highly elevated. Trends tend to end on high volume. Okay, they tend to either signal a reversal or a breakout, and so to see elevated volumes come in, that's going to account for a lot of the volatility. But overall, it's a sign that the upward trend may be a little bit stretched. Okay. Now, is there any evidence of that yet? I mean, could we see even greater volume tomorrow and see this push into 80? Absolutely. But this extra volume here today. Granted, all the day traders, all the option traders jumping around in it, messing around in it, and having their fun with it. But for those of you who kind of look at Twitter longer term, uh, the elevated volume is just a little bit of a flashing yellow light, just kind of saying, hey, pump the brakes, slow down a little bit, danger ahead. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for hopping on. John will be on with you on chat here for the rest of the afternoon. I will be back with you on video, do a kind of position rundown into the close, and take a look at potentially pulling a little Boeing off and getting into a little Tesoro. If things end where they are right now, I would not do that. I would still wait to make that shift, but if we see a little bit of change here, we may go and do that. All right, we'll talk to you later. Take care.